Geometry, Chapter 1, Section 6, we are going to cover Example 2 now, which is finding perimeters, circumferences, and areas. If you need to pause for a moment and get these formulas written down, they will be very helpful for you. Okay, find the perimeter and area of the figure. This is a four-sided figure. It is a rectangle, so we can go back and look up what our formula here is, rectangle. We want to find the perimeter and area. So we need both of these formulas. We need 2 times the length plus 2 times the width. Okay, so the perimeter is equal to 2 times the length plus 2 times the width. And so the length would be 4.6. So we're going to take and we're going to make this perimeter equals 2 times 4.6 plus 2 times 2.3. Where the 4.6 is the same 4.6 down here, and this 2.3 is that same 2.3 from over here. So we've got 4.6 coming from down here, the 4.6, and the 2.3 coming from right here. So 2 times 4.6 would be 2 times 6 is 12, 2 down carry the 1. 2 times 4 is 8 plus 1 is 9, so that is 9.2 plus 2 times 3 is 6, and 2 times 2 is 4. And then we just add them together. 6 plus 2 is 8, and 9 plus 4 is 13. And then we grab our units, and our units are centimeters. The other thing we're supposed to find is the area. And if we go back and look at the formula, area is length times width. Length times width. And so area is equal to, our length was this 4.6, and our width was this 2.3. So again, this 4.6 and this 2.3. Same 4.6, same 2.3. From there, you can grab your calculator. So this would be 4.6 times 2.3, and you end up with the final answer, of 10.58. So area equals 10.58, and the units on that would be centimeters squared. And there's our final answers. So we've got our perimeter is 13.8 centimeters, and our area is 10.58 centimeters squared. Okay, find the circumference and area of the figure. Circumference and area. So circumference is 2 pi r, and area is pi r squared. So circumference is 2 times pi times r, and our area is equal to pi times r squared. Okay, so our radius is 4, so that's our radius. So this is going to be equal to 2 times pi times 4. And 2 times 4 is 8. So it's 8 pi. And we could get an approximation for it if we wanted to, and say that is approximately 8 times pi. Grab a calculator and go 8 times, and pi. Normally you use 3.14 for an approximation for pi. That is not pi. Pi is irrational. It goes on forever without repeating or terminating. So 25.12, 25.12 would be the decimal approximation of the circumference, and that would be in inches. And the area, we would take pi, and we would multiply by radius, and radius is 4, and that would be squared. And so 4 squared is 16, so this is equal to 16 pi. And that would be your answer, or you can do an approximation of that and take 16 times pi. So 16 and then times 3.14 is our approximation. We don't really have pi, but we can use an approximation for pi. And you get 50.24. 50.24. And that would be inches squared. Okay, so our actual answer here is 8 pi. Our approximation is 25.12 inches. Our approximation is 16 pi. And our real answer is 16 pi inches squared. And our approximated answer is 50.24 inches squared. Okay, if the area of a circle is 25 pi, what is the circumference? Okay, so the area is equal to pi times r squared. So that would be pi times 25, right? 25 pi times 25, which means that r squared is equal to 25, and r would be equal to 5. Now the second part of this question then asks, what is the circumference? So circumference is equal to 2 times pi times r, so that's 2 times pi times 5, which would be equal to 10 pi. Okay. And that would be your final answer right there, 10 pi. It started out as 25 pi, you can finish it with just being 10 pi and leaving it in terms of pi. So, checking your progress, why don't you try this one and then come back and we'll check your answer and see how you did. Push pause. Okay, so you just need to find the circumference to the nearest whole number. Circumference is equal to 2 pi r. So that's 2 times pi times 8, which is 16 times pi. That looks really bad. 2 times pi times 8. Let's see if I can get this neater. Which is 16 pi. So grab your calculator. 16 times pi, clear that out. 16 times 3.14. Again, that's an approximation of pi, not actually pi. So 6 times, ooh, that's supposed to be 16. Try that again. 16 times 3.14 gives us an approximation, which is 50.24, and 50.24 is, this one here would be the closest one. Okay, and this one again, push pause, come back and check your answer when you're done. Okay, we're finding area on this one. So area is equal to pi times r squared. So that's pi times 8 squared, which is pi times 64. So right now, if it's pi times 64, you already know this one's out. And hopefully you know 3 times 64 is probably not some of these other ones. Grab your calculator though. Clear that out. So it's 64 times 3.14. Again, that's an approximation, not an actual answer. And you get 200.96, which is very close to B on this one.